I'm Keith Becker from Dee Dee's Rentals. I have been frequently hired by investors, new property owners who've bought investment property in Sonoma County and bought a property that is already occupied by residents in place. And the sale process included, obviously, real estate agents, and the real estate agents create their own estoppels, and the California Association of Realtors actually has its own estoppel agreement, which is appropriate and thorough for the purposes of making sure that critical information that is necessary for the sale transaction is accurate. What's interesting, however, is that this document isn't necessarily always the full information that you would need as the new owner of an investment property with a tenant already in place. It's very useful, but there's more. So whenever we take over management of a new property where the tenant is already in place, we actually, when we send out our introductory letter, we also send our own questionnaire. And the reason why we send our own questionnaire is because the estoppel that you'll get with the sale doesn't always include all of the adult residents. And for example, if somebody's been living there for 10 years, the kid who was 12 years old back in 2004 is now 22. They're an adult. They're a tenant. There's also the question of when was the rent last increased? Because do bear in mind that you, as the owner, the landlord of our property, cannot increase the rent more than 10% in any 12-month period without giving a 60-day notice. So you need to know when and what was the last rent increase. Furthermore, you want to make sure that you get all of the named individuals, those people who are 18 years or older and those who are underage occupants, because again, the CIR estoppel may not necessarily include that. Tell me about the vehicles. How many vehicles? What are they? What is the license number, etc., so we can properly account for them and document them. Questions that we include, and if you'd like, please call my office because I can provide you a copy of this document. Questions that we include: do you have any water-filled furniture? Are there any pets at the premises? If so, please identify. Are there any residents who were not listed on the original rental contract? Have residences engaged in illegal drug sale or manufacture or prosecuted for felonies associated with such activities? Do all hinged doors have deadbolts? That's a habitability question. Believe it or not, and it's not covered in this, but deadbolts are a habitability standard. Do all windows lock securely? Same issue. It's a habitability issue. Are there functioning smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors? That is typically something, in order to transact a sale process, you have to make sure that there are smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors, but occasionally they get overlooked. Has the tenant requested any repairs that have not been performed? You want to know this. And is the tenant aware of any unreported repairs that need to be serviced? You want to know what you've gotten yourself into, but more importantly, this is also an estoppel. You have a tenant who sends this back, and on June 26th of 2014, you get this back, and it says, I've got no repairs that have been undone, and I've got nothing that needs to be done that I failed to tell anybody about. You've got a snapshot in time that says, effectively, the property is in good shape. So your tenant is not going to be able to come back to you 3 months from now and say, my roof's been leaking since 2008, and nobody's ever done anything about it, because you've got an estoppel, and the estoppel says, I've got no problems. Life is good. So, if you are interested, please feel free to contact my office and we'll arrange to make sure that you get a copy of this if you so desire. If you have questions on this or on any other topic, please feel free to call Dee Dee's Rentals. We'd be glad to help.